Assassin's Creed must be officially the leakiest game series on the planet. Black Flag was inadvertently announced by someone's laptop on an aeroplane, Unity was revealed by a bunch of leaked screenshots the March before it came out, and then Syndicate, back when it was called Assassin's Creed Victory, was leaked mere weeks after Unity had been released. In keeping with this not-so-proud tradition, the latest rumour is that the series is skipping this year and that the next full-fat Assassin's Creed experience is codenamed Empire, will be set in ancient Egypt and feature a rich Witcher 3 style open world when it arrives in 2017. There are even claims that this previously leaked screenshot of something called Project Osiris has become the game, backed up by the same character's appearance in Assassin's Creed Black Flag's Abstergo emails. Assuming that's what we're getting, and based on the seemingly hundreds of Assassin's Creed games we've already played, here are 7 things we don't want from Assassin's Creed Empire.
I've no money for this doctor of yours.
Wasted it on women and wine, huh?
I'd hardly call it wasted.
There seem to be 2 types of Assassin's Creed heroes: charismatic, well-written characters like Ezio, Edward Kenway and the Fry twins, and tedious dullards like Arno and Connor "What would you have me do" Kenway.
What would you have me do?
According to the rumours, Ubisoft is resting the series for 2016, and it reckons the poor quality of Assassin's Creed Unity had a knock-on effect on the sales of Syndicate. But the reason Unity was rubbish wasn't because people's faces kept disappearing, that was hilarious, it's because Arno and his 3 co-op clones had all the personality of a wet cardboard box. That's why Syndicate, with Jacob being a comedy idiot and Evie struggling not to laugh at him, was such a breath of fresh air.
We will free London from Starrick. You have my word.
And my looks.
Going back farther in history, the temptation will be to make things more serious, but I'm pretty sure laughter was invented before ancient Egypt was, so for pity's sake, stick some jokes in there.
I see what you're saying, Evie. We need the rooks.
Plus, now that Evie Fry has established herself as one of the best assassins in the series, let's not go back to a total sausage fest just because it's set around 2,000 years earlier. Basically, if we never have to run after and rugby tackle another Templar-employed courier or fleeing assassination victim again, it'll be too soon.
Oh, for God's sake!
Pursuit missions aren't the only irritating staples in Assassin's Creed's repertoire of standard mission types, of course, but the point is they've been trotting out similar stuff for approaching a decade now. With the rumoured break in the yearly release schedule, this is an opportunity for Empire to start afresh and really change up what we expect from an Assassin's Creed game. How about broadening the sort of stealth you're involved in? Assassin's Creed Liberation toyed with the idea of social stealth, hiding in plain sight by wearing a particular outfit. Why not expand that to include dialogue as well, so that you're really playing the part? Essentially, Ubisoft, we'd like to use our wits as much as our ability to sit on a bench. Also, explain to me this: how exactly does hanging out with a gang of dancing ladies make you less conspicuous? Much as the overarching backstory of the series is interesting, the present-day elements of the series have been treading water for ages now. Clearly, immersion in the historical stuff is what people are into, and that doesn't stop you adding the magical space ghosts.
We must speak.
The concept of the assassin bloodline has been well and truly established by previous games, and there's plenty of space inside the pyramids to hide a giant precursor temple if you absolutely have to. Ever since the, let's say, conclusion of Desmond's story arc, the Assassin's Creed series hasn't really known what to do with the modern day stuff. Black Flag made the main character in the present day you the player, and Unity and Syndicate didn't bother with a modern day player character. Perhaps it's time to retire the modern day stuff altogether. I mean, we'd lose Sean Hastings, but you know what? I think I can live with that.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Anything else you two would like? You know, some caviar, perhaps? Maybe you'd like me to knit you a lovely hat.
Clearly the writers' hearts aren't in it either, because the last time they had a playable modern-day section, it was a bunch of wandering around an office in first person, followed by 2 minutes of actual storyline at the end. If I wanted to wander around an office in first person, I'd get a job. At least they'd be paying me. Getting rid of the Animus would free up the story as well. The concept of history already being written is one of the reasons the gameplay of AC has felt increasingly restricted. It's also why I can't murder every single liar playing minstrel in Renaissance Rome, apparently.
Way!
If history isn't written yet, the game can become the fully fledged Witcher 3 style RPG with branching narrative and dialogue options that the rumours claim it to be. Maybe the game could even include multiple different endings. Given that Empire would be set so far before the other games in the series, it would be a lot easier not to tread on the tangle of story threads that already exist. Mostly though, an RPG structure gives you a chance to get really immersed in life in the historic settings that, up until now, have been basically very pretty parkour assault courses. When game developers introduce a new, more efficient way of getting around the world, they then become terrified of removing it in sequels in case the game feels sluggish. That's the corner Call of Duty has painted itself into with its robot legs, and there's a danger that Syndicate's zippy rope launcher will do exactly the same thing for Assassin's Creed. The thing is, in this case, the fiction has to come first, particularly given that this will be the furthest back in history an Assassin's Creed game has ever gone. A Batman Arkham grappling hook was barely believable in Victorian London. Don't try and shoehorn it into the fiction of ancient Egypt. We also don't want to see the world's first handgun made out of some reed from the banks of the Nile, we don't want stun grenades made from canopic jars, we don't want a papyrus wingsuit, and while we're on the subject, we haven't used a rope dart since that one time we were made to in Assassin's Creed 3, so you can bin that one as well.
Sorry.
In most regards, Assassin's Creed Syndicate was a step forward for the series. Not a huge step forward, but a step forward nonetheless. The one area where it dropped the ball was in the assassinations themselves. Initially it seems like a good idea, 3 different ways to get to your target specifically designed for that particular scenario. The thing is, it's the illusion of choice, but in reality it's 3 rigidly enforced ways to get at your victim, who is usually hiding inside a building, which limits your ability to improvise even more. Okay, the setup is different each time, but you're still following specific steps to complete the kill. Compare that to the original Assassin's Creed where your target is just hanging out in a heavily guarded area and it's up to you to work out how to get at them. For Empire, what we'd like is something closer to the Hitman games, with assassination targets who have realistic routines and tons of different ways to creatively bump them off. Assassin's Creed Syndicate proves that an Assassin's Creed game doesn't need multiplayer. Both the multiplayer introduced in Brotherhood and the co-op introduced in Unity were diverting novelties, but neither of them were the main reason we turn up for an Assassin's Creed game. Better to use the Skyrim and Witcher method of guaranteeing longevity, that is, ramming the world with so many intriguing side quests and miniature story arcs that you never feel like you're truly finished with the game. That is how you stop your game stinking up the bargain bins in GameStop a month after release. So there you go, 7 things we don't want to see in Assassin's Creed Empire, whatever they eventually decide to call it. But what do you think of the rumours, and what would you like to see in the next Assassin's Creed? Let us know in the comments, and like and subscribe for more from Outside Xbox. See you next time!